They say that if you see the Black Shuck once, you've got good fortune. If you see it twice, your luck has run out. But if you hear the sound of the Black Shucks, you're exactly where you need to be. After 4 years of crafting and refining, this Norfolk Power Quartet is finally dropping their debut album. Now, this isn't just a collection of songs. It is a high-octane hard rock statement that refuses to sit quietly in the background. Now, I'm joined today by the band to talk about the long road to this release and the brand new engine in the lineup. So, Jake, Sam, Tyler, welcome, guys.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. So, right, let's get right into it. So, 4 years, it's a long time to sit with a set of songs. But tell me, which track on this album almost didn't make the cut because you'd ever played it in the studio? And was there a magic moment that saved it?
Probably keeping the Black Dog at bay. Actually, for me, it was a track that when we first kind of played it together, it sounded actually nothing like the studio version of it. And we took it to our producer. It's called Jack Murphy. He's incredible, and he kind of discovered the Black Shucks sound. So we're very loyal to him, and he always gets the best out of us. And we took the Black Dog, even the Black Dog at bay, should I say, to him. We call it Black Dog for short. But we took it to him, and he just like made this thing out of it and had all these ideas and. And we just went for it, and when we heard it back afterwards, we were like, yeah, this is really, really cool. We were actually almost going to call the debut album "Keeping the Black Dog at Bay." It was something for us that I kind of researched a bit, and it was something kind of Winston Churchill used to say as well. You got to keep the black dog away. During obviously the World War II, which kind of like inspired me to write a song. Me and Jake, certainly a song that came down to that and expressed those feelings in what we were kind of going through in our lives at the time, and to get it out into a pretty cool hard rock song.
If we could time travel back to year one of this album's creation, which song would the 2022 version of the Black Shucks not even recognize today?
Oh no, yeah, we pretty much play all our songs the same way as they're like recorded. But yeah, the first track we did was "Are You Ready?" and I think that was with us, me and Sam, for years because we're lifelong friends. And we used to do these whiskey nights, and that's how that song came about. But we must have had that song probably 10 years, and it took us this long, obviously, to even get banned and then obviously get it into an album form.
Yeah, it was a long time. I'd say, Are You Ready? When we first ever, in answer to your question, I would probably say, Are You Ready is probably the one that we, when we first ever recorded it, because it was so long ago, it was through phone microphones and so on, and the lyrics probably changed a million times. They're still cheesy now, but we didn't really care. It's just one of those, happy kind of rock songs. So we went through that, and then when we actually took it, it was the same time in 2022 where we recorded Midnight City. So in one weekend we did Are You Ready, and then we did Midnight City as well. And I personally never thought Are You Ready could ever sound like that punchy from everything, and and keep up with Midnight City. But I do think like now when you hear it in the album, I think everyone knows it's a kind of cheesy rock song, but it kind of still fits in. Like I think it has a bit of diversity into the album. But certainly, in answer to your question, it didn't sound anything quite like it does right now when we first ever made it. I'm sure you'd agree with that, Jake.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the big news that you announced in February. So you guys officially brought Tyler into the fold as your new bassist. Now, some would argue that bringing in a new member right as a debut album drops, it's like changing the tires on a car while it's doing 100 miles an hour on the motorway. What's your thought on this based on the experience you guys went through?
Well, our previous bassist is getting married this year, and he's like me, Sam, and Danny, and Louis, our previous drummer, were all like best mates. We've like been mates for years, But so the drummer got married, then he left. Then the bassist is now getting married. Now he's left as well. But no, Tyler fitted in straight away. Like you say, we were sort of already had the hit the ground running with Tyler, and yeah, it just feels better. Something new has come along, and yeah, and I don't know. Ever since it's been announced, we've had a load more opportunities. I don't know why, but yeah, things seem to be moving along in the right position, because obviously we released the album in October, and I can't remember when it was Danny was going to leave. I think it was like a month ago, which was January, or I think it was January when he left. And it's kind of like trying to pick up the pieces and start again. But
since last year, as a band and 4 dudes that have grown up together and spent a lot of time together, and obviously created the band out of a love of the same music, and obviously spent a lot of time creating that music. They kind of felt like part of the furniture as well. So life happens, and obviously Dan and Louis, they found their own ways, and they're so happy doing what they're doing, and obviously that makes us very happy. But I feel that me and Jake have done really well in finding, and definitely a bit of luck as well, in finding the perfect replacements. And there've been kind of recommendations. Finn was the first one, and he was the kind of guy that just turns up to band practice the first time and just learned like a whole album straight off. And we were like, what? You've just, and it was like 2 weeks before, we said we had it, and he just knew every single song. He knew all the names. He knew beat for beat was perfect. And then a very similar thing with Tyler as well. And Tyler's played bass since she was 5, and she's now 25. Right? Yeah. So yeah, she's definitely a master of her instrument as well. So we're really, really lucky to be surrounded now. I think certainly musically, it's definitely an upgrade, and it's definitely added more diversity to the Black Shucks, which we're really proud of.
Tyler, this next one's for you then. So as Jake and Sam have already said, I mean, these guys have practically been living with each other. They've been living with these songs for years. It's been baked into their DNA. So you're essentially an archaeologist just digging into their history. Can you tell us which bass line on the album felt the most alien to you?
To your playing style, and how did you break to
fit that mold?
Honestly, I don't think any of them were like super alien. I think we're all quite lucky that we've got the same or like really similar taste in what we would listen to and what we'd write and the influences. My favourite one to play is definitely Keeping the Black Dog at Bay. That's so fun. But they were all fun to learn, they were all fun to play. And I think that helps, like, obviously join in the band when they all know them inside out, because you actually enjoy, like, you do enjoy playing them genuinely. But yeah, Keeping the Black Dog at Bay was my favourite. But I wouldn't say any of them were alien to my style. I mean, I play, like, any kind of style anyway, but this is definitely like the genre that I would listen to as well. So yeah, no, it felt like it fit like from the offset, which was good.
Was there any particular song during the first rehearsal back in February that made you realize, I'm not just joining a band here, I'm actually a part of something much bigger?
Particular song.
All of them.
Honestly, yeah, like all of them. The first rehearsal, when it was like finally kind of sounded like I was getting the bass hooks. Obviously, you learn them all by ear and probably not right. It's definitely Midnight City for ages.
Oh, yeah. Midnight City was messy. We used to have like lock eyes and be like, and I'll just give you a certain look. When
that clicked, it was like, this is. It was like a couple rehearsals for that first gig, and it was like, this is gonna be really good. But no, like from day one playing in practice, it was, you just get a good like feeling from it, and it was like you all click as musicians and as people anyway. Yeah.
So was there a song that you gave Tyler during her audition to see whether or not she could handle the dynamic?
It wasn't really an audition as such. It was kind of like, the news broke that Danny was leaving, and then we were down the pub. we already knew that Tyler's a great bass player, so it was just like, it wasn't an audition. It was just like, and we know Tyler as well from friends and whatever. And Tyler's in, she come down the pub, we had a few beers, then we were like, oh yeah, she's in. And then we just went straight to rehearsal, like, I don't know, a week later or whatever.
It was actually as simple as that as well. Yeah, it was simple as that.
Same with him. Like we had great, and we just trusted it. We didn't do no auditions. We just ran with it. And I think we've been very lucky that there's no like egos in the band. There's no nothing. It's like just like a couple of numpties basically.
Well, 4 numpties actually. Yeah.
Numpties just having fun and making music, and and the best thing, like, well, me and Sam from the get-go, there's never been any sort of like, say if I've got my idea as a riff and Sam goes, oh, do this, like, I don't get like, oh, nah, this is my idea, you can't change it. We literally just go, that sounds like, we work on a level where it just like, I just trust him to say something, I'm like, oh yeah, instantly, but it sounds so much better.
Yeah, we've always had that trust. We took music together at high school. And that's when we kind of became really, really close, me and Jake. And Jake's always been a better guitar player. I know that. And then one time he started singing to me, and I was like, hold on a minute, that guy can sing. Like, he can't be a better guitar player and a better singer. So I was like, oh, screw this. I'm going to start singing in my car. And then I eventually build up the confidence to show him like a voice note or something crazy like that. So like one of my favorite bands, and and then that was it. He was like, actually, you can sing, and we came to a mutual agreement, I think. But Jake's still a great singer, and I've still kind of hung on to my guitar as well, and now I've got these 2 new additions. The direction of the band is going in a really great way that we're really happy about. So yeah, some really positive things happening very, very soon. Album number 2 is also on the way. So yeah, very good.
Let's talk a little bit about your roots. So the name, the Black Shucks, comes from dark East Anglian folklore. Now, does being born and bred in Norfolk give the music a specific kind of isolated grit that you wouldn't get if you were based in a major city?
I wouldn't say so. It was actually our ex-bass player, Dan, who came up with the name. We were trying to think of names for ages. And, this day and age, everyone has thought of something. And it was actually a band out there called Black Shucks, but they were from quite a while ago, I think. So we were like, we could probably get away with the Black Shucks or whatever. And obviously being from East Anglia and, and proud of being from here, there's not a lot of bands that have actually come out of here, so we were like, we'll go for that. Also, it makes a really cool logo as well. You've got like this really cool black dog with red eyes. We sell quite a lot of merch at our gigs, because we've got a really nice t-shirt design as well, which is also great. But yeah, I think kind of going back to keeping the black dog at bay kind of made me think about that kind of folklore kind of thing. The moodiness of it all. But realistically, if you just first of all put me and Jake into a room for a while, then we'd always do it. We always come out with something, don't we? I don't know what it is, but we do.
Your next gig, it's the 28th of March in Boston. Now, is there any particular song from the album that you're actually afraid to play live just because of the sheer...
That's Velvet Sky, isn't it?
Yeah. Velvet Sky is a hard one. I don't know if you want to say something about this, Jake.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks that that me and Sam have done together. So how we work to make a song, I've got Logic, and we'll pretty much record it in a less quality version of itself, and then take the track to the producer, and then he'll put his spin on it, and he'll say, do this differently, and then but with Velvet Sky, we didn't have a drummer or a bass player turn up to the recording session, so we actually used MIDI drums for that, and then we kind of just sort of like recorded the song and then left it, and then I forgot the whole song because there's a massive solo in that song, and I had to sit down for a couple of hours relearning it, and I was like, oh no, yeah. So even now, I don't know why, because that the nerves of that is like in the back of my head every time I want to come to play it. And it's quite different to, it's quite like an up and downy song for us, because we're normally like, riff rock and straight out there. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely get nervous before the solo because there's loads of little bits to it. It's quite simple, but sometimes the simple things are the hardest. So
It's out of all of our live songs, for sure. It's definitely the hardest one to sing. I remember Jake, right? He definitely has ADHD, right? So he's the happiest guy in the world, and that's what I love. From a whole, like, since I was a teenager, love spending time. We're now 32, by the way. I shouldn't actually probably give that information away, but I just did. So we're supposedly the oldest and most responsible people in the band. We're definitely not, unfortunately. Finn actually is, and he's 19. So if that does anything about us, it does. But yeah, I went to Jake's. We went for just like to do one of our music days, and he was like, I can't remember what happened, but you were just weirdly miserable. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? So I think I dragged him to the supermarket and we got some beers or something. Came back and he just started playing these chords, and I just said, look, Jake, stop right there. But like, what are you playing? And he was like, what, this? And then I said, no, exactly that. And then I said, record it. He was, really? I was like, yeah, record it now. And he recorded these 4 chords of progression. And then after we did that, we created Velvet Sky in one day, probably like 3 or 4 hours. It was.
I just remembered that the actual solo from that song. It was when I moved back to my mum's. I remember now. So it was like in a tiny room. I recorded the solo, which is actually on the track, and then I think it sat for about a year. And then we were like, oh, we need to get some songs together for the album. And then we set up the studio in your loft, didn't we? And then the actual vocals were recorded using my gear. And we went to the studio, and instantly Jack was like, well, they're pretty good. Like, they're so good. And he's just like, I don't think we can recreate that. So he's like, he said, we can re-record them from scratch, but he's like, I think we should just leave it. So it's quite a broad track in that essence. It's a bit of a weird one. It was like, so yeah, it was recorded in my mum's bedroom, or mine. Not in my mum's bedroom. Yeah, no, as I was saying. And then, recorded in your loft. And then we had MIDI drums, which we've never done before, but it still sounds like an actual drum kit.
And I remember the vocals. So I did 2 takes of the vocals at my house, and then when we took them to Jack, he said, actually, the first take you ever did is, you're never going to get better than that. He said sometimes that happens. So yeah, we just left it as it was. I mean, I think he did a little bit of magic with it. We've never used any kind of help from anything. We've always loved to keep everything raw. The way that we record our music, when we perform live, we love to basically recreate. We love to recreate it live. So if we do something in the studio that's unrealistic, that we can't create live, then we're not interested. We want it to be, we're a live band, we're full of energy, and that's the performance we want to put on. But we also want to sound exactly like a record. So yeah, so we kind of get away with what we can and push ourselves as much as we can, and come out. Hopefully with people wanting to come and see us again, which has worked so far.
The only question that remains then, so with the debut album finally being out, you've already teased the album 2 on the way. What's the next chapter for you guys?
Just writing more of what we want to write and sound like.
Influences. Yeah, sure. I think album number 2 is a very, very important album for us. The first one took too long. This one is
not going to take that long.
No, we're going to release this on the 31st of October on Halloween this year. It's going to be 10 or 11 songs, and we are confident that it's going to be just as good, if not better, than the next one. I don't think we've come up with a certain theme yet for it, but I like to think we'll certainly find one. So yeah, we're gonna get there and certainly get most of it done and get writing again. But it's going to be really refreshing to write with Tyler and Finn this time for sure. Two certainly very capable musicians.
Yeah, it's really good.
And adding a new kind of side and element to the Black Shucks. Yeah, well said.
Nice. Well, you've heard it here, guys. The debut albums are finally out. A set date has been released for album number 2, Halloween, my favourite time of the year. Tyler is now locked in on the low end, so therefore the Shuck is officially off the leash. If you guys want to see the new lineup in the flesh and hear these anthems at the volume that they deserve, head over to their socials at the Black Shucks on Instagram and Facebook for tour dates. This, guys, is only the beginning. And as always, if you ain't headbanging yet, what the hell are you even doing? Guys, Jake, Tyler, Sam, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.